And it looks like we're live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today. So, today, I actually have an awesome special guest. I have Coach Kim here who is going to actually help all the creative people out there, people like you, people like me, who sit in their desk for all kinds of crazy hours. She's going to give us some tips on how we can be healthy so that we can live a little bit longer and do the things that we love for the rest of our lives without incurring crazy hospital bills, destroying our bodies with bad habits. And so that's why she's here today. So welcome, Coach Kim, to the channel.
Hi, thank you so much, Roberto, and thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. I can start out by just telling a little bit about myself, how to reach me, and my journey and my purpose.
Sure, absolutely. Please do that so that people can get a little bit of context.
Okay, sure. My name is Kim, Diva Coach Kim, and I'm Diva by definition on social media. And what I do is I share creative ideas, and I am a health coach, and I like to help inspire creative people with who have a relation of my same journey. In addition to being a health coach, as far as some things that are really important to me that inspire me, I love animals and I'm passionate about working with animal rescue and helping support that and the way that I can. I'm also very passionate about donor awareness and educating people to become a donor. And I actually do have a wonderful story about a great lady on my website, on my donor awareness page, that I would like to invite everybody to see. And you can also sign up to be a donor there. Again, that's divabydefinition.com on the donor awareness page. I also love to sew. I've been a seamstress my whole life. It started at the age of 4, and then it later developed into being a professional seamstress for other various interior designers. And I also love art and design. I like to share a lot of my art and design on social media, in addition to share the art of others. As far as some of the things that I like and some of the things that inspire is I'm inspired by people with from all different types of diversity. I love national music. I love a lot learning about the traditions and customs of people around the world and countries. I'm a very cultural person, and as far as being an artist, one of my favorite things to do is I love to take any room or house and just turn a room inside out and upside down to give it a personal Kim twist and a little bit of that diva art. And as far as my journey, I would like my journey is actually very important because I know it's going to relate to other creatives.
Yeah, definitely.
So you might find this interesting. Okay, so for most of my life, I have been, for the most part, healthy and fit for the most thin and shape, love to dance, and like to eat as best I can. The biggest turning point for me in my life was when I quit smoking. I was a smoker for 35 and I had developed a smoker's cough that was so bad that I could not hold a phone conversation for 5 minutes without pressing the mute button in order to cough. There
Wow.
actually was
Yeah.
a way that I could have done this broadcast with you if I was still smoking. But turning point, I did quit and I'm celebrating my 6th year anniversary. What thankful to not be smoking, what that did to me is it caused me to gain a significant amount of weight in a very quick time because my cigarette used to be what used to help me think, it used to help me relieve my stress, and that was then replaced by food. And I gained probably somewhere between 50 and 70 pounds in just 5 short months.
Wow.
That did is it destroyed my productivity, it destroyed my self esteem, it just took an incredible toll on my life. I got over it. I was able to lose the weight once I got a couple of years under my belt, and I started learning how to eat better and live healthier, and the importance of incorporating exercise into my daily life. And I discovered Zumba fitness, and that fit well with me because of my love for international music. So I went out and I got a license to teach like 5 different platforms of Zumba fitness. Now I love Sean T. Styes. I basically just love any kind of dance fitness, put it that way. So I was on the right track, got down to my 125 pounds. I felt great. Then what is a couple of years ago, I injured the exact same knee 3 times, and I injured both feet.
Wow.
Falling on the ice and overworking myself in fitness classes. When you teach dance fitness, you have to spend a ton of time learning choreography and
Mm-hmm.
just doing the classes. So on days when I have classes, I would be, at it probably 5 or 6 hours a day. And it just became way too much for me. In fact, those injuries got me to the point where I couldn't handle the pain anymore. I could hardly walk across the grocery store, and I could hardly walk across the room. Turning point, thankfully, I was introduced to a great program that focuses on nutrition instead of calories from one of my master fitness trainers that I had met on a few different occasions. And I am so thankful for that to this day, because to forget about the calories and focus on nutrition, it has given me mental clarity. It has knocked 30 pounds off, and I'm so excited to be almost halfway back to where I was before. And it's happening so much quicker than I thought it would, that I'm just really revved up and wanting to share with other creative people the system that I use with finding workouts that fit your lifestyle. And I used to be a cardio queen, and through this journey, I found out that being a cardio queen is not everything that your body needs. Building muscle and lifting weights and using weight programs is very important. And then also knowing how to incorporate the correct kind of nutrition every single day into your life, as far as having the proper balance of exactly what you need. And as part of my as part of my business, what I do is, as an online coach, it doesn't matter where you live, we run support groups where we help you with cleaner and better eating ideas. I like to help people who, if you have maybe some favorite things that you like that's not so healthy, we teach you how to make it healthier, and we give you ideas to just eat better, support and help you with how to fit these things into your life. Let's face it, as creatives, we all know that we spend a ton of time just sitting, and we sit way too much, and all that
Oh
sitting.
God, I do. Like, I know that that's like, I used to be a track and cross country runner for like a long time. I think some of you watching live and people watching the replay, you remember me talking about my days running track, that I like did like a 5:15 mile and like an 18:18 5K. And like, I was long distance. I was track and cross country. And, like now that I'm 31, about to be 32, I don't do that anymore. And like the running got harder, like on my knees after like, I was in 2 car accidents. There was a point where I was in a car accident. I was actually in a wheelchair for like, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I was on crutches for like 2 weeks. So there was that, just some rough stuff. And then like a couple of years ago, I was like, mugged, and I had some injuries to get over with that. But like, I found that what I do now is very different than what I did back then, but I've maintained a pretty decent like physique and, body and like, almost washboard abs still. Not that bad, but I don't do nearly like I don't go to the gym, which I'm thinking about doing a gym membership now that there's like a Planet Fitness opened by me and there's also another place 10 minutes away. I'm thinking of just like whichever one I think is the easiest car ride with less traffic will be the one that'll motivate me to go more often. But my thing with that is I sit so long because I'm doing consulting, I'm doing my video editing, I'm doing my design work for clients, I'm doing my marketing work for clients, and then even when I go out, I'm sitting in meetings, and when I travel, I'm sitting in planes and in airports, and I get some intense workouts every now and again. I do like 5 and 10 minute intense workouts during my day, just a little bit, and that's it. Or when I drop the ball on something with my work, I punish myself with push-ups. But what I've noticed is that as healthy as I look and appear, and as healthy and energetic as I feel, and I get enough rest, that's important too. But I feel like some pain in my legs and my lower joints sometimes. I feel a little sense of like a lack of circulation, even though I have much more comfortable chairs and that's helped. And I have my second desk and I have a foot massager to deal with like the nerves in my feet, and that helps a lot more. I still feel like sometimes there's a little bit of a lack of circulation in the legs there from sitting so long. What are your thoughts on that, and what can I do about that?
Actually, I am glad that you brought that up. And I do have a few tips that I can give on people who are creative, such as yourself and I, that we can start doing right now that can help with that. And circulation can really be affected by sitting. So there's several things, 5 tips I can give you that will help that. Okay, number one is never sit directly after a meal.
Hmm.
When you sit directly after a meal, it causes sugar spikes, and when you get those sugar spikes, your food is not correctly converted into energy.
Hmm.
If you walk around for about 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes before you eat, before you sit down, you can cut those sugar spikes in half.
So if instead, after a meal, instead of sitting down or like laying down and watching TV or going back to work at the computer, after a meal, maybe I should either go for a walk or play with the dog or walk the dog or something like that instead, so that I don't feel tempted to form that bad habit. Because I think more than anything, it's that a lot of us have bad habits.
That's correct, yes. And I have a few more tips on that if you wanted to hear that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One thing for creatives who sit a lot, 3 things that I find really important are workstations, timers, and music. If you can invest in a sit stand workstation, that is awesome. If you don't have one, just simply elevating your desk or laptop up onto an object or books. If you're staying in a hotel, you can even go so far as turning a trash can upside down just to elevate it. When you stand, as opposed to sitting, you are cutting your sit time by about 25%. Another thing is time. If you can set a time at 30 minutes, take that 30 minutes and just indulge in your work full force. When that time goes off, get up, even if you have to walk around just for a few minutes, or even to just do a few jumping jacks in place, that will help that. And music, because music has such a profound effect on the emotions. And if you can listen to music that soothes you while you work, that will also help immensely. The third tip is to have a nutritional balance, because when your hormones are not balanced, it will create fatigue and exhaustion for you. But if you have that nutritional balance through the food that you're eating, you feel so much more ready to just go on and take on the day. Some of the and I do help with this type of thing, but in a nutshell, what you want in your day is you want proteins and healthy fats. You should actually start your day with something that's high in protein and healthy in fat, even if it's a protein shake.
What's an example besides like a protein shake? What's like an example? And what's something also super affordable? Because I know that a lot of people are concerned with how expensive eating healthy can be. I know that that's been a concern for me in the past. My workaround was doing things like yogurts, and I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I like went back to the routine I had when I was like a kid. I went back to apples and bananas.
Eggs are very high in protein, and avocado is a healthy fat.
Oh, I love avocado.
And so is organic coconut oil. If you
Hmm.
put organic coconut oil on your toast, but healthy fat and protein should be the very first thing. But you do want to have in your day, aside from those things, good carbs, vegetables, some oils, and some whole grains, as well as your fruits every single day.
What are some good carbs? I know that like I was big on carbs because I was a track runner and I still love pastas and spaghetti and I do things like that. But I know a lot of people are concerned about things like gluten now and like people are trying to do like, no carbs and things like that. And I know people are worried about diabetes, but like I like carbs because I need the energy all day and I'm like I got a high metabolism, so maybe that's part of my deal, but like even now that I'm not a runner, I find that like having carbs is great for me in terms of getting me through my day all day because I hustle for 10 hours plus a day.
Yes, it is, and I like my and you can still have spaghetti and you can still have pastas. You should look for gluten free, and if not gluten free, you definitely want them to be whole grain.
Gotcha. What are some other examples of good carbs? What about rice? What about, I know that for protein, I know beans, my family is Panamanian Cuban, so we incorporate that into our diet a lot just naturally. So I'm a big fan of like black beans, pinto beans, rice. What are your thoughts there?
The beans are actually a great source of protein, so that is good. And eating rice is absolutely fine. I eat it every single day. I do choose a whole grain, gluten free rice, but it's great and it's a necessity in the diet.
Awesome. Like in terms of some very basic things that people can do in terms of correcting like their bad habits. Like I love that you brought up like setting a timer. Like I'm going to probably either just use like Siri's reminder system or I'll find some kind of app later to recommend for that. But like I think timers are super important. I try to remember the like 60 or 90-minute rule just in general. But I know that sometimes people can forget, so I think a timer helps for sure. But like, what are some other bad habits that you think people need to break that would help them be a lot healthier and a lot more fit? And what is your advice? Like, we talked a lot about, like, for example, I'm in a situation where I can control a lot of things that I need to take more responsibility for. I need to eat on a schedule because I control my time because I'm my own boss. But I also have the luxury of knowing that I can work out any time of day I want. I can just say, screw it and go to the gym. So I got to take responsibility there. But what's some of your specific advice for people who have bad habits that's related to them working at a 9 to 5 job where they don't have control of their time?
One very important thing as far as the meals would be meal prepping. It's impossible to eat well when you are trying to do it on the fly every single day. I like to take out 2 hours on a Saturday and I prep everything that I need for a whole week so that I can just grab those things. And if it wasn't for meal prepping and doing that, I wouldn't have time to eat healthy.
I
So,
think that's a good tip even for me. I think that in everything else, my preparation and my batch work, even with like, doing my content, I shoot everything back to back. I edit everything back to back. I think if I take that same approach to my meal preparation, my nutrition, they'll have the same kind of success. So that's a super awesome tip.
thank you. And another one that I wanted to talk about is exercise. Exercise will increase your productivity. And what it does is it gets your creative juices flowing, and it releases endorphins. And the body heat that's produced from exercise creates a calmness, and body heat can also help reduce depression. Lastly, and probably most importantly, is water. The most successful people drink 10 glasses of water every single day. A great rule to follow is to take your own body weight and divide it in half and drink that many ounces every single day. What water does is it lubricates your organs, it supports your muscles, it helps the nutrition from your food run through your body better, and it wakes up the brain. If you can, for example, if you think of a plant, what a plant looks like when it needs water and over, and you put some water and it just springs up, water does the exact same thing to your brain.
Nice. So what would you say about like, I've disciplined myself and running was part of that to love water. Some people, they can't stand drinking water. What would be your advice for them?
I'm actually one of those people who don't really like the taste of water. But I just do it because of what I know it does for me. I think you just have to find a water that you like.
Something palatable and then just discipline yourself.
Yes. You can add a little bit of flavor to it. You can add lime, lemon, but it really is the best to have 8 to 12 glasses of just pure water every day.
I heard that like actually lemon outside the body it's acidic, but it's actually more aloe based when it's inside the body, and that actually adding a little bit of lemon to your water actually really helps with your internal organs. Is that true? And if so, that means I'm always going to ask for water with lemon when I'm at a restaurant.
I believe it is true. I haven't researched it a whole lot, but as for myself, it does improve the taste and it helps me be able to drink it. I actually like to start the morning with hot water with lemon in it.
Huh. What are your thoughts on tea versus coffee? I know a lot of creative professionals are coffee addicts, and I know there are some health benefits to coffee, but I also know that coffee can be addictive, and I also know it can be too much of a stimulant sometimes, and that it can disrupt people's sleep patterns. It can also disrupt people's heart rhythms. But I also know a lot of other creatives who are big fans of tea. What are your thoughts on the two?
Coffee is fine as long as it's black coffee. Adding things with artificial sugars and flavors in them is not good. It's best to just drink it black. And as far as teas, almost any tea is good for you. So I drink a lot.
I'm a big fan of herbal teas. I'm a big fan of like the Eastern teas, like white orchid, things like that. I love that. There's some other things I've been trying out as far as teas, and I just find that I like them because if I actually, and I need to do this more often, if I actually do quote unquote tea time, then it becomes a way for me to center myself and to clear my thoughts. Even the preparation process of, making the tea and everything like that, it's letting me focus on something and not be like distracted or have a lot of clutter in my head. So I think that actually, as weird as it sounds, like little rituals, like nothing fancy or crazy, but just little rituals that help you relax and calm down. I think that people take that for granted and how valuable it is. What do you think?
As far as uh, like what to do to
As far as like, I used to suffer a lot from being very anxious and neurotic. I was always worrying about things. I was always stressed out, and I was always overthinking things. I found that sometimes little rituals that help me focus, like the preparing of my, tea, or cleaning my office, those things, like little things that just help me relax. For those people who don't actually know how to meditate, which I do know how to do. For those people who don't do that kind of thing, do you think that little like rituals that can like make them focus on something other than the million and one thoughts buzzing in their head, do you think that that contributes to like their health and their ability to calm themselves and to balance themselves out a bit and get a little bit of control of some of those hormones?
Absolutely, and I was going to talk about that as well. It's very important to end your with something that calms you and soothes you. Because if you go to sleep at night with everything on your mind that's from work or what you have to do and creating anxiety for yourself about what's coming up, those kinds of things will cause you to not be able to sleep. And you can get insomnia from that. And insomnia actually is directly related to proper nutrition. So when you
Mm.
feed your body with the correct fuel, you will sleep better at night. As far as the best way to close the night is just to think positive thoughts. One great thing is to put on CDs that have sounds of nature, listen to music that soothes you, read a good book, but you want to end the night with something that makes you feel good and relaxes you and have nothing to do with work, because what happens in your own mind when you sleep at night is what you take to sleep, your last thoughts when you go to sleep. So you want it to be something positive for
That's
sure.
why I do my reading when I go to bed, is when I do a lot of my reading. Sometimes I'll listen to an entertainment based audiobook, or I'll listen to like Lindsey Sterling, as far as that's like my favorite music, and I like that it's instrumentals mostly, so that it stimulates creativity. Or I'll listen to classical, and that will actually really help me with relaxing and going to sleep. I also use like, driving is something that I hate doing. It gives me so much anxiety and tenses me up. So I actually just turn it to the classical music station and leave it there when I'm driving. And people have always thought that I'm weird about that, but I'm like, no, this actually is helping me relax during the most stressful part of my day, because I hate driving. I hate it so much because of the stress. I don't like, oh wow, I have to like, I have to basically be a Jedi for like the next 15 minutes behind the wheel and understand like what everyone's doing. The classical music helps calm me down, relax me. And so I think that you're right. I think that if you're tense and if you're worried about everything and if you're anxious and you go to sleep that day thinking about all the things you have to do tomorrow, I think that one thing you could do is maybe jot down your to-do list so that it's not on your mind, it's out of your head. And then you do something, you reward yourself by doing something that is soothing as you go to sleep. I think that's a good ritual.
Yes, and I also wanted to add, I know a lot of people take sleeping pills. Taking sleeping pills is the wrong thing to do, because
Mhm.
what sleeping pills do is they just knock you out. They don't solve the problem. You want to solve the problem by preventing the insomnia, by implementing and make sure your body has the correct nutrition every single day. And as we just talked about, you want to end your night with things that soothe you and positive thoughts, and that should eliminate sleeping problems. It's good if you can to get exercise or the workout done when you first get up in the morning, and do meditation or in things that calm you at nighttime before you sleep.
Ah, I've been doing in a lot of cases the opposite, and I need to reverse that. That's a good idea.
Okay, I, like you, I get the impression, Roberto, that you're a night owl and that you stay up half the night a lot working. Am I correct?
Like sometimes it depends. It depends. Like when during the cold season, probably that's more true during the cold season. And then I sleep in more. And then during spring and summer, I balance out to almost normal. Like, so I mean that's a thing. And it can go either way, but I love sleep and I do sleep my good 6 to 8 hours most of the time. But I find that in a lot of cases, I'm going off of what my body says is like my energy level and my productivity. So if it's at night, I will, instead of trying to force myself to wind down, I'll just play it out. And that's usually what happens.
I myself am a night owl, and when you say that you should reverse that, 50% of the time I need to reverse that. It's best if you can to do that in the morning, but important thing is just do it. I'll give you an example of last night. I did my workout at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought, oh, I haven't done my workout yet. Oh, it's 2:30 in the morning. But I did it and I slept really well. But I do that often. Sometimes if I just can't get it in, I just get it in, even if it is at the end of the night.
Are you still there? Like your audio like went out on me.
Okay, I'm still here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think everyone else still heard that. I think it was just something with my machine.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that makes perfect. That makes perfect sense. I think that one of the things that I want to encourage people to do is to find an accountability partner for their health, because sometimes, the issue is that it's really hard to be consistent at anything, whether it's work, whether it's life, whether it's your health, whether it's your bad habits. Sometimes having not just a workout buddy, but somebody that's really keeping an eye on your health and reminding you of the things you said you wanted to accomplish as far as goals can be really helpful. What are your thoughts on that?
Having an accountability partner is one of the single most important factors to be successful, because an accountability partner, they can be your coach, they can be your teammate, or they can be your cheerleader. It is going to help motivate you to reach your goals and help you condition your habits and help you accomplish so much more. As far as finding an accountability partner, a good accountability partner is someone who's pretty much on your same level, trying to work that same goals. If it's a fitness goal, maybe not somebody who's much more fit than you are or much less fit, but a little bit closer match, where you're motivating each other to work together to make the same accomplishments.
No, it makes perfect sense. I think the same thing is definitely true in business as well. I like to, work with people that are either at the same level or, or just a little above me, but not that much, or a little below, so that we can encourage each other in some way, so that we're like, balancing out. I think that that's important, because I think you're right. I think it's too easy to get discouraged if you have somebody that feels like they're out of reach as far, or they don't have the same goal as you. I think that that could be discouraging or distracting. So I think finding somebody that's in a similar place and you guys getting there together is the right answer. So as we close out, I want to know what like your like main 3 or 5 tips specifically for me would be, and then I want you to tell people where they can find you and how you want to help them as far as being a coach for them in their nutrition and their health goals. And so let's do that.
Okay. And right now you said you're working out about 10 minutes a day, but it's
In spurts, like maybe I'll do it for 5 or 10 minutes in like twice a day.
okay. I think that's good. I would maybe try to increase that 5 minutes to 15 minutes twice a day. Are you doing cardio or do you incorporate weights into your workout?
It's probably more cardio than anything. I could probably stand to do something with weights, but it's more cardio, and it's a little bit of aerobics and a little bit of martial arts.
Okay. It sounds good. I would suggest trying to add weights into that. And I think that if you were to set a timer, as I mentioned previously, and just spend that 3 to 5 minutes every half an hour, that will really help you. In addition to your meal prepping to make sure that what you need every single day is available, and it only happens through meal prepping.
Gotcha. Nope, makes perfect sense. Like after this call, and after I like do one other thing, I'm probably gonna go to Harris Teeter. So, what would you say I need to do as far as my sleeping pattern? And then my other question was, I'm considering because I enjoyed running so much, but I want to take it easy on my knees as I age up just a little bit. But hashtag I am immortal. I'm thinking of getting a bike. I'm thinking of getting a bike again and doing bike riding. So, what do you think about sleep? What do you think about riding a bike a couple times a week? And what do you think about getting a gym membership to help me with the doing a little bit of weight training and just having more accountability? Because at least if I'm paying something every month, I'll get neurotic about like being accountable and not wasting the money. So I'll actually do it.
Okay, as far as the bike riding, that's great cardio. You had mentioned a knee and actually weightlifting, and a personal trainer might be able to help you out with this, and I might be able to introduce you to weightlifting programs as well that you could stream from home. But when you add weights into your routine, you're building muscle. And if you're building those muscles around the knee, that's going to help you. As I mentioned earlier, I had injured my knee 3 times, all in the same year. And every year when winter comes, I fear the ice because I know that that's when I'm going to take a fall and injure my knee again. But this year I actually haven't, and I think a lot of it is because my knees are so much stronger from adding the extra muscle to it.
Nope, that makes perfect sense. That does make perfect sense because I think that people like I've done illustration, I've done like the artwork, the anatomy stuff, and like when I think about it, you're right because having that extra muscle to reinforce the bones and to take some of the pressure off, that makes total sense. And I also think that that's what was helping when I was a track runner is because every day was leg day. Every day was leg day. We were doing nothing but crunches and leg lifts and sit-ups and like all that stuff. And so that's tremendous. So I totally agree with you. So I think maybe working my way up to some weights as far as like the leg press machine and leg lifts could definitely help offset some of my knees, and that would help. And then I also think maybe increasing my calcium intake will help with that as well.
Yes, I totally agree with the calcium intake. And with the weights, I like free weights, and I've actually had no idea until the past few months of the things that you can actually do with free weights. But as a creative and as sitting long hours at a desk, you want to really strengthen your core muscles because it's going to help your posture, and it's just going to overall help people to have a stronger upper body who have to sit so much in front of a computer or a
It's
table.
probably why I've lasted this long. Like a lot of my friends who are like 30 and 32, and even some of my friends who are like 25, 28 that have worked desk jobs most of their adult life, even some that have worked retail, like their health is like out the window, or now they're getting into the gym and they're becoming gym rats now. But my overall level of health has been pretty consistent. And I think it's because I spent majority of my teenage years from sixth grade running track and doing crunches and doing sit-ups and building up a massive like core like most of my life. So I spent like more than like about roughly 2/3 of my life establishing strong core and back muscles as far as my my abs and my back. And I think that the little bit of intense workout that I do every day has added up to me at least maintaining the majority of that, so that I didn't decline in the way that a lot of my friends and contemporaries did. Because I was like the only person, like, when I worked for an IT company, I was the marketing manager there. And I was literally the only person who didn't put on like, a 15-pound stomach, like in 2 years. I was the only one, literally. And like, I realize why now.
Sure, absolutely. I totally agree.
But yeah, no, that was like some tremendous advice. And like, I can see why you can definitely do this as a profession. I think that everybody would definitely benefit from it. So where can they find you, and how do they hire you if they want an online health and nutrition coach? What's the process for that?
Okay, thanks, Roberto. My website is divabydefinition.com. I'm not sure if you can see behind me, but I've got it attached to the hula hoop back there in the background. I'm Diva by Definition on all social media. You can find me on Facebook at Diva by Definition. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. And you can email me at coachkimbydivabydefinition.com.
We actually met in Blab, which a lot of people don't know about, blab.im. Do you do a show on Blab? I can't remember.
You and I met on Periscope.
Oh, you're right. We did meet on Periscope. Have you checked out Blab yet?
I have not.
Blab is this other thing that's live streaming for Twitter, and it's different like than Periscope in the sense that in the way that you and I are doing a hangout on air, 4 people at a time can do a hangout on air in Blab. But if they leave, someone else can take their seat, and also everyone in the chat, everyone can see it, and that's really cool. And I always mix up Blab and Periscope like in conversations, but they're
Right.
totally different. They're totally different. But like you both use them for like Twitter, and then this was supposed to be health, but I'm going to sneak in a social media growth hack here. Anyone who wants to grow their Twitter presence, Periscope, really good way to do that. And Blab is a really good way to do that. And both Periscope and Blab are a great way to network and meet awesome, amazing people, because if it wasn't for Periscope and the power of Twitter, we probably might not have met. And, that would be a real shame, because, this has been a tremendous interview. I think you just helped like a ton of people. You might have actually helped some people save their lives, or at least their health, or maybe their abs. So, definitely thank you for that. So everybody, that is Coach Kim, and you know where to find her now. Thank you so much for coming on the channel.
You're very welcome, Roberto, and it was a great pleasure. And I thank you so much for inviting me. It was a great experience, and I especially am honored to do a broadcast with the creatives such as yourself. You have one like I found you on Periscope, and the first thing that attracted me to you was the Create Awesome T-shirt. So first thing I noticed when I came out was, oh, I have to follow this guy. He creates awesome. So
Yeah, the t-shirts, you know, the t-shirts, like everyone gets really enamored with the t-shirts. You know, it's the worst thing I've done as a marketer is not tell people to buy the t-shirts.
I just heard you say, I believe it was on Periscope the other day, that you sell the T-shirts. So I'm gonna get one of the T-shirts.
All right, that is amazing. Awesome. So definitely appreciate that. That's gonna be really cool. Definitely like when you do, like shoot me like something like on Instagram or something like that. Cause I love what I would love to do is anybody who's getting the t-shirts, I'm gonna like do some kind of like thing at some point on YouTube where I like do a collage of like all the people from Instagram that like tag me that have bought the shirts. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, no, thank you so much for this. And this is tremendous. This is really gonna help me buckle down and take my health seriously, which was one of my big 2016 goals. And thank you for being my first guest of 2016 here on the channel. What I'm going to be trying to do for everybody watching, and this might be helpful for you for tuning in, is I'm going to actually be bringing on guests. I'm going to try and bring on a guest once or twice a week that I think can help us create awesome one way or another, whether it's in our creativity and productivity or our lives or our businesses. And the people that I want to bring on will help you guys accomplish your goals, but also will give me great advice that I'm going to action on because I'm still growing. As much as you guys might, you know, respect and admire me, I've got room to grow. I've got room to improve. I can like make better choices in life and I can be healthier, happier, and more successful. And I'm going to bring people into our community that can help all of us do that. So, you know, Kim is the first of many.
Oh, thank you.
And, you know, I'm just looking forward to connecting with you more. So everybody make sure you're following her in social. After we wrap up, I'll make sure links are like in the description and stuff like that. It might take me a little bit, but I will accumulate those things and put them there. Again, thank you so much. And we're going to hang out a little bit after we go off air. So stick around with me for a bit. But you guys, thank you so much to people in the live chat. For these things, I'm going to have to find a moderator. And so I'm going to reach out to people in the Create Awesome community that I know can do that kind of thing. Maybe I will get some kind of live stream community manager to help me with the live stream stuff more. So that's something to look forward to, and that will help manage and moderate things in the live comments and everything like that. But what I want you to do is after this or in the replay, when the video is up on the channel, if you have questions, definitely reach out in the comment section because you guys know I actually respond there. And it'll be easier for me after the show to respond to your comments than doing it live. Because as you guys know, like one-man show here, solo entrepreneur. So I need to fix that. I need to build the team. But that's going to be it. So thank you so much, Kim. We're going to chat after this. So everybody, like, stay happy, stay healthy, and of course, remember to create something awesome today. All right. Take care, everybody.